All right, we're back in the studio. We took a week off, March Madness, and wedding planning, and class, and a bunch of other stuff. Work. Want to start out with some shout-outs. Shout out to Dr. Bills for keeping me on my toes during the game on Friday. Shout out to the boys for winning the last game of the series against Middle Georgia. Shout out to my fans over at Middle Georgia. You'll be getting a postcard pretty soon with a picture of me since you like to stare. Shout out to Peyton and Kate for getting married on Saturday. Proud of you guys. Can't wait to see you guys get married. We'll be there. I had one more. Shout out Ree Jordan and Jeb Johnson. Both pitched this weekend and had 8 Ks on the mound. Congratulations to you guys. Keep doing you. If you want to see any of that, it's on my Instagram at Rowdy Sports Network. Also, if you want to follow us separately, Noah is in the bio and I'm in the bio of Rowdy Sports Network. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Make sure you follow us on all platforms and have your post notifications on. We should be on Patreon pretty soon, just depending on some of the paperwork that it takes to do Patreon. If you're interested in a watch along for the Super Bowl, World Series, any major sporting event, if you're interested in watching me and Noah react to the game and do like a watch along live stream or something, we'll be on Twitch and we'll be on Patreon, so you guys can tune in and watch us watch sports and get our live takes. That'll be a summer project. It'll be closer to June and July. But if that's something you guys are interested in, there'll be a poll in the episode of this, or in the bio of this episode, and just click yes or no if that's something that you're interested in. So, something that we're interested in, but just because we're interested in it, we understand that some of you aren't. So, just let us know. It helps us make appropriate plans. All right, let me get comfortable because we got a lot to talk about. Noah and I were talking about the March Madness bracket. The Final Four, for the first time in like 25 years, all number 1 seeds have made the Final Four. Something neither of us had even thought about.
We were hoping for some upsets, but upsets really did not happen. There was no really crazy Cinderella stories.
Yeah, McNeese really let me down.
Yeah, they lost Matt Orr.
So did
Orcon.
Holy Cross? Not Holy Cross.
High Point. We thought High Point was going to be goated.
Yeah, I really thought Arkansas was going to make a better run than they did. But
I mean, they did. They made it all the way.
Yeah, but I thought they would be a Final Four, if anything.
They still did very good. I mean, they had some upsets. So, I mean, it was still a good March Madness, in my opinion. First day was kind of wasn't much to go by. Then you got down into the round of 32, and it was just another But once you got Sweet 16 and Elite 8, it actually got with close games.
Yeah.
Which was nice to actually have, because every other game I was turning on was like, oh, this team's getting blown out by 15. Oh, this team's getting blown out by 20. It's like,
it's hard to watch.
It was like fun in the beginning, but then it just got terrible.
Slacked off a little bit.
I mean, watching the Georgia game versus Gonzaga was absolutely horrendous to watch.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I mean, Gonzaga, I think his name was Battle. Dude would have contested threes, 2 guys in his face, and he was making every 3-point that he put up. I was like, we can't stop him. You can't stop him. And then the next game, I don't think he performed that well.
Yeah.
I was like, why'd you have to do it against us? Well,
yeah.
Why?
Well, once I saw the score of Duke and Alabama, I was like, wait a minute. Is this the same Alabama team that's been in the whole tournament? Because I expected it to be.
Well, it was crazy. The night before, or the 2 nights before, Alabama had the game where they set the record for most threes made in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And then next day they come out, the Sears guy who popped off so bad in the other game, this game, he was like 5 for 12 or 4 for 12 on 3 points.
It's insane.
But, I mean, if you look at first day, you had Auburn winning their game. Louisville got beat by Creighton. So Creighton. So, you know how we said Drake and Kendrick with that? Yeah, Drake prevailed.
Yeah. It's all right. Drake, that was in the tournament, also prevailed.
Drake, the actual Drake Bulldogs, they performed very well.
Yeah.
They did very good. They had a cold white boy on there. That white boy could play.
Yeah.
He was hitting everything.
But they make it too far, though.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really, I don't think first day. We had Lipscomb going kind of far, but Lipscomb.
Yeah. Lipscomb and Marquette, I thought were going to be
thought,
Final Fours, but
yeah,
things happen.
We thought they were going to be good. They were not good. I mean, there wasn't really crazy upsets. I mean, Drake, you can kind of call that an upset because they were an 11 and Missouri was a 6. So you can call that an upset. But
I mean, I thought Iowa State was going to beat Ole Miss. Well, I thought it was going to be Iowa State, North Carolina, but
Ole Miss actually came out and played some good ball.
Yeah, I mean, only losing by 3 to make it to the get knocked out of the Final Four or the Elite Eight was not on my bingo card, but Texas Tech showed up against Arkansas, and then
Texas Tech played some good ball till it came down to it. Once Texas Tech, I mean, Texas Tech did perform good against Florida. They had the lead on Florida. I don't know if you watched that game or the ending of that game. Texas Tech was up by like 6 or 7 on Florida. And I mean, Walter Cutland Jr. in the first half, he was not performing well at all. I mean, he was playing pitiful. But then he comes out in the second half. I mean, there's one play I literally watched. He drives in, gets in the middle of the paint, has 2 guys with him. He's like, nah, we're down by more. He backs out, top of the key, turn around, shoots it, made a 3. I'm like, dude, what was his thinking in that? I was like, in my case, I'm trying to get points. I'm driving in, trying to get that bucket, maybe an M1. He just popped back out the top when he's not been shooting his threes properly all game, and he comes out the top of the key and just switches it. I'm like, okay, never mind, you got this. And then Florida just prevailed in the last 2 minutes of that game. They played really, really good basketball, and they were actually able to overcome Texas Tech, which was shocking because Texas Tech, like I said, they were up by like 6 or 7 points, and they had the lead. All they had to do was just keep driving, and Florida actually showed up when they needed to and started just scoring, went on a little run.
Yeah, and I think especially, and I know this is like old week's news, and I mean that's kind of our thing here on the air, but after the UConn finish, Florida UConn finish, you got to look, Florida's walking into the tunnel being told, that should have been UConn's game. And then they turn around, beat Maryland, beat Texas Tech, make it to the Final Four. I think they kind of proved to everybody that even with that foul, it was always Florida's game.
Yeah, and a lot of people probably had Maryland upsetting Florida after the way Maryland started performing in the game. I mean, in the top of their games. I mean, that buzzer beater that Maryland had against Colorado State, there was a lot of talk about that the guy traveled. But if you look at it, he gets his gather step, and then he takes his 2 steps. So everybody's like, oh, that's travel. It wasn't technically a travel because he has his gather step. But, I mean, that game, watching that final was crazy to watch. And what was funny is the guy who shot the ball and made it, he told the coach, get the ball to me. And then afterwards, in the post-game conference, the guy said, yeah, that's my first ever buzzer beater to win the game. And the coach said, if I'd have known that, I would not have gave you the ball. He said, if I'd have known it, you were not getting it. But I think that kid was a freshman too.
Yeah.
And he showed up when it needed. And I was watching it live, and I was like, oh, my God. I was like, Colorado State has a chance to knock off Maryland. And then Maryland proceeded to win on buzzer beater, and I was like, holy. can't say the word, but holy moly.
Yeah.
I was like, that was wild to watch.
Another one that was pretty wild going into the week, or the Sweet 16. I've been hearing it all year, or all bracket. Kentucky beat Tennessee regular season. Kentucky beat Tennessee regular season. But we've time and time again we've heard it. Regular season doesn't matter once you make it to the bracket.
It does not matter.
And Kentucky just did not perform the way that I thought they would against Tennessee. I don't think Illinois could have done any better. But Tennessee really kind of wiped it with them. But Houston has not been putting up as many points, but the defense has been heavy on Houston's part. And I'm excited to see what they do against Duke. I don't think they have the willpower to beat Duke. I think Duke's on a power trip right now. I think they've got the number 1 draft pick. I think they got another number 10 draft pick, or he'll go in the first round. They got several first rounders.
Small flag?
Cooper will go first overall. I'm talking about the center.
Oh.
I think both of them will get drafted very high. I think they'll both go into the draft this year. I think they'd be dumb not to. Cooper Flagg's coming off of an injury. I think you go ahead and go into the league now. That way, if you have an injury in the league, at least you're getting paid.
I mean, he's still getting paid. I mean, NIL.
Of course, but I think he's got a better chance of getting drafted to the 76ers with Jared McCain and winning a championship in the next 4 years. That might be bold of me to say, but I think you pair those two guys up together on the same team, you got a good chance of making it somewhere. I don't think Houston can beat them. I've got Duke especially in my championship. The other side of the bracket, though, Florida and Auburn, I don't really know who I want to choose because I think Auburn has a good chance, but I think Florida's playing really good ball. I think Florida in the past, ever since the first round, 95-69 against Norfolk State, 77-75, close game, 87-71, kind of a close game, 84-79. I think they outscore their opponents pretty well. I think they play defense pretty well. I think they make the right calls. They make the right substitutions when they need to make the right substitutions. Auburn does the same, but I don't think they outscore their opponents as well as Florida does. And I also think that going into this game, it means more on the SEC standpoint than it does of the championship standpoint. This is the first time in a while that we've seen this many SEC schools make the bracket. It's the first time that we've seen two SECs, or the first time I've seen two SEC schools make it to the Final Four and have the same stature of a 1 seed. I'd love to hear your thoughts on who you think is going to make it to the championship, because I'd love to see Duke play Florida or Auburn just because of the energy surrounding the game. Mm-hmm. But at the same point, I don't know who to pick between those two. Those are the two teams that, when it comes to football season, I hate the most.
Yeah.
And now I have to root for them to play Duke.
Yeah, I mean, it all really depends on if Walter Clayton picks up for Florida and he starts off the game hot, then can finish the game hot. If he stays hot the whole game, Florida will walk away on Auburn very, 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 very easily.
Yeah.
And same with Duke. If their starting five can stay hot and not commit fouls and stay just giving it into your inside guys and not being main selfish with the ball and passing it around, I mean, Duke has that in the bag. I don't see really Houston making it like they want to. I mean, just personal. But like I said, I got Duke and Florida. That's my main two.
Outside of the fact that, starters and everything, how do you feel about Auburn and Florida if they make it to the championship? Depending on each one. In the rare scenario that Houston beats Duke, do you think an SEC school walks away with it easy over Houston?
I'm not going to say easy because Houston has been playing good ball, but I mean it will. If Houston makes it, and I'm still picking Florida over Auburn, mm-hmm. I don't think Houston has what it takes. I mean, it'd be close, but I'm going to say Florida wins by 5 or more if Houston makes it. If Duke and Florida get it, it's probably going to come down to last possession, to be honest with you.
I saw a really good analogy the other day, and I mean, this is I mean, people that know me know that I come up with like random analogies that sometimes don't work. But it showed a hurricane going through the ocean, and every time it hits a set of storms, it picks up more momentum.
Mm-hmm.
If it overcomes the storm, it becomes stronger. I think that's Houston. But I think if they go through the storm of Duke and they come out and prevail with a win, maybe it's a buzzer beater, maybe it's a free throw, maybe it's a 3-point drive that's laid up for the final. I don't think they have the willpower. I think they gas it. I think they get gassed and they lose to an SEC
I
school.
think they're going to try all out for Duke, and if they win versus Duke, they're going to have a lot of people that are going to be tired.
Yeah.
The play.
Because it's only a 2-game difference, or a 2-day difference between the Final Four and the championship.
Yeah, I don't see it. Because they play on Saturday, and the championship is on that Monday.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to be super gassed. I mean, even if every team basically is gassed at this point because they've made it all the way through the bracket. So all of them are gassed, but they've been trained to do this. But, I mean, if I was them, I'd be gassed as all get out. I'd be so tired and sore.
I don't think Duke or Florida are gassed.
They don't look it.
I think if anything, the flame is still under. You know what I'm saying? They're still on fire. Yeah. And I don't think they're going to slow down anytime soon. I think Auburn and Houston are gassed. I think Auburn is gassed more so from the Sweet 16 Michigan game.
Yeah.
And then having to turn around and play Michigan State. I think that turnaround wasn't as quick as what they've hoped for. I was really hoping to see Ole Miss have to play Auburn. But that didn't come to fruition. But no, I think Florida and Duke is our championship, and I think Duke walks away with it.
So you're still riding with Duke on that?
Yeah.
It's still a toss-up for me because one of the brackets I have Florida winning it, and one of the brackets I have Duke winning it. But I have been telling, we have conversations at work about who we think is taking it all. I've always been saying Florida because Florida's been playing great ball. Much as I hate to say it, but Florida's been playing very good ball.
I think we need to shout out our ex-co-host for his bracket. Noah brought this to my attention. I thought Carson Merwin was in first. But Brandon O'Quinn had a perfect Sweet 16. And he's had a perfect Elite 8. And he's picked the Final Four pretty perfectly. He's got Auburn winning and Duke winning, and then he's got Duke winning the championship. But as far as the Elite 8 and the Sweet 16 leading up to the Elite 4 or the Final Four, he's pretty spot on. I'd like to see what his point predictions were for those games because that would be insane if he picked the exact point predictions. But he's on fire. I mean, I think he missed with the Auburn. I think he's probably punching the air right now watching how Florida played, but he's not here to defend himself. So I'm just going to give him his credit that's due and then just rip him to shreds. But no, he's 180,000 ranked, 93.3% accuracy. So
he's got Auburn beating Florida and Duke beating Houston.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got Duke and Auburn in the final.
Yeah.
I think he's probably punching the air right now, looking at that Florida team having to play that Auburn team.
I mean, he picked very well. I mean, he had St. John's beating Arkansas, Wisconsin beating BYU, Clemson beating Purdue, but Clemson got knocked out first round.
I mean, he had A&M beating Michigan, which wasn't a far-fetched idea, but
no, it wasn't. A&M was playing good, but Michigan just wanted to play better.
I don't even know if there's any perfect brackets left.
No, there isn't.
I think that last one got busted. Which for me, I knew I was out after Gonzaga beat Georgia, so I wasn't really worried about it. And that was kind of just my head and my heart did not connect on that pick.
Well, I mean, Georgia was playing good ball, at least we thought, and I figured they'd be a good pick against Gonzaga, but like I said, Gonzaga came out and they started the game with a 27-2 run.
Yeah.
So that hurt.
Yeah.
Watching that game, I started it and then it was like hit after hit after hit after hit. I was like, dude, call a timeout. Get your team settled down. We didn't call a timeout until it was 27-2.
Yeah.
I was like, buddy, we need a timeout when it got 15-0. I was like, we need to settle these guys down. It's their first time really being there. We need to settle them down, let them collect themselves. Because after that, I mean, we started performing, we started hitting, but that 27-point lead that they already had on us destroyed us.
Yeah.
If we'd have just taken a timeout, collected ourselves, and then kept playing, it would have been a lot better of a game. But we didn't call a timeout to let our guys settle down. I mean, it's 27-2. You think your guys going to make that big of a comeback? No, that timeout needed to be way sooner. Everybody needed to collect themselves, and we needed to keep rolling. But he did not let it happen. And I was like, dude, we're not going to stop them if they have just 27-2. Like, I already gave up on the game. I was like, oh, that's it. I was like, it's been 5 minutes and it's 27-2. I mean, these guys are already done for.
Yeah.
And that was a pitiful game to watch.
But, I mean, I think it's the first time in my lifetime that I've been in tune with basketball a little bit, and I've been able to see Georgia make the bracket. Because I don't remember them making the bracket before then.
They haven't made it bracket in years and years.
We're going to drift over into a different college sport. I want to give some highlights before we get into college baseball. I want to give some highlights to ABAC. ABAC's 12-9 on the conference. We're 4th in conference. We're 22-11 on the year. We're coming off of a 1-game win streak over Middle Georgia over the weekend. They thought they were going to sweep, but we quickly broke the broomstick on there. But yeah, we've got some stat leaders I want to highlight. Quinn Rawls is 365 for the year on batting average. Braden Fordham's right behind him with a 364. Quinn is he's got a lot of stolen bases. He is 19 for 19 on stolen bases without being caught, which is insane to think about. I mean, it's just nuts. Christopher Wally, though, this is the one I want to highlight. He's got 14 home runs on the year. He has tied C.J. Rose, the Lowndes County native, for the most home runs in a year, school record. One more, and he'll pretty much trump that. I think he's got plenty more in the tank. He's ranked, I think he's tied for 4th in the nation for home runs in NAI. The team itself is ranked 24th in NAIA ball nationwide, which is the highest we've ever been ranked in any sort of standings, and it's our first year in NAIA. We were supposed to be projected to finish last in the conference, and we're 4th in the conference. So I think that says a lot about our coach and a lot about our team. Shout out to Coach Williams for being the first coach in school history to have us this highly ranked in his first year. This many wins in his first year. I mean, he's pretty much trumped every award we've had in the past. Trip Lumpkin won Pitcher of the Week 2 weeks back to back. I mean, we're really making waves in the new conference. I think we're going to make many more waves in the conference that we're in. Middle Georgia State gave us a good run. They're leaving the conference next year, so I don't think we'll have much to worry about. I was kind of hoping that would be one of our rivals, just the way they performed. But, I mean, it is what it is. You move up, you move down. I genuinely thought you had to win games in your conference in order to move up, but clearly that's not the case. So congratulations on going up to a different area for you to get whipped. But other than that, I think we're making really good progress to solidify our standing in the Southern States Athletic Conference. I think our players are going to go off to bigger and better schools. I think we're going to continue with the recruitment. I think now that we're a 4-year school, our 4-year collegiate program, we've got room to keep players like Chase and Cash and like Quinn Rawls and like Christopher Wally for multiple years at a time before they have to transfer or take up a better opportunity. But right now, I think ABAC baseball is hot. We've got 2 more home series if you'd like to come to those. We play Toccoa Falls and we play Thomas University in Thomasville. We play them the last 2 weeks of the season, the last 2 weeks of April, and then we've got the conference tournament. So come out, support the Stallions, show up. The guys are really good. This is the first time we've been really good since my freshman year. I think it's a team worth supporting. I mean, our basketball team went 2-19 in conference. If you really want to watch a collegiate sport that's going to tear up the opposing team, right now it's men's and women's tennis and baseball, and that's just about it. I mean, I love ABAC. I bleed green and gold, but right now the best we have is baseball. So I'm off my soapbox. Let's get into NCAA baseball before we get into the MLB, because Georgia's third. You told me that this morning.
Yep.
And
We just swept Auburn
yeah, and Florida.
and Florida. Swept both of them.
And to me, this is
the best I've seen Georgia baseball in a while.
yeah, we're gonna be really freaking good when that tournament comes around. And I'm just happy that the tournament is still in the same week that it is in June, because that's the week that I'm at the beach for my birthday. And I promise you that when I'm at the house and I'm chilling by the pool, I've got Georgia playing on one TV and I got Auburn playing on another TV, because Dad's an Auburn fan and I'm a Georgia fan. And honestly, I think Charlie Condon may not do much with he's coming off an injury with the Rockies and he's in the minors, but I think he left a staple behind him in Athens, and these guys are showing up to what Charlie had last year.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm not a huge fan. I never will be a huge fan, but Caglione, that played for Florida last year, he's going to be the next breakout star of the majors. But if we want to take a little reverse while we're talking about Georgia advanced out of the Athens series last year over Army, Georgia Tech, and UNC Wilmington. They ended up losing a 3-game series to NC State. NC State made the bracket 2 and lost to Texas A&M. Texas A&M, we all know the story, lost to Tennessee in the finals. This year, I don't think there's any team that touches Georgia other than Tennessee, because Tennessee's on freaking fire.
I mean, they lost to East Tennessee State.
I mean,
That Georgia
FSU lost to Mercer, but
Georgia beat East Tennessee State.
on paper,
saying.
on paper, it looks like we could beat anybody. But with baseball, we know how that kind of stuff goes.
Baseball is so hard to predict.
You can't replicate anything from any other sport.
No, because it changes every time. On Friday, Georgia will have a real test on Friday, because we play in Texas, and Texas is ranked 5th. Texas is 23-3. We're 28-2. So that should be some good games. Like I said in the beginning, we were playing nobody's. And I was like, I'm ready for us to get into some actual play where we can get some recognition. And we are.
Yeah.
We played our hearts out against Kentucky. I think Kentucky won 1 against us. We beat them twice. Then we swept Florida. 3 back-to-back SEC teams that we whooped up on. And I'm hoping we can keep that momentum. Because
Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you go ahead. You got it.
The longevity of baseball in college that is different from NAI. I work in NAI, I've worked in JUCO, and I've seen the difference. And I've talked to guys that are at Georgia, and I've talked to them about longevity. The difference is you've also got to look at their student athletes. And right after baseball season really starts ramping up, you've got finals, and then everybody gets out for summertime. And you've got 2 types of teams when it comes to baseball. You got teams that take what they did in the spring and they replicate it in the summer when it comes to the playoffs, and you got teams that fall off because student athletes are tired of playing. I think Georgia's stacked with players who want a championship and want to see people like Tennessee and people like Florida and people like all of these top dogs that have been top dogs for a really long time. They want to see them fall, and they want to take that pedestal. And I think Georgia's one of those teams. I know I'm just speaking out of my head here, but if you look at the top 3 right now, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Georgia have been 1, 2, and 3 for the past 2 weeks. And I think that says a testament to the team.
Georgia was 4th. We just moved up. We were ranked 4th, and then the rankings came out this morning, and we moved up to 3rd.
Yeah.
But we've been slowly climbing. Like, we started lower around like 15, and then just slowly crept our way up, and now we're all the way up to 3rd. So I'm happy to see it.
And there's a couple teams in here that I've never seen before. Like Dallas Baptist is 17th.
Dallas Baptist is usually good in baseball.
I've never heard of them.
That's
Up
usually,
until I watched the rankings, but
that's
K-State's
usually
in
one
here.
team.
Coastal Carolina was good last year. Vanderbilt's kind of been. They're on some off years.
They are. They used to be main team that you'd want to watch, but they've been a little slackage lately.
So we won't get regional brackets until the end of May.
Yeah, the last games of the season are like May 17th.
Yeah.
I just looked at it and I was like, Well, really, what I'm happy about is Georgia's actually playing good baseball, and actually more and more actually want to come play for us. We're getting more
100%.
players committing or transferring to come play with us. Because last year we made a very, very good run. I was happy to watch us actually perform the way we did. But I felt like with all the hype we had with Condon last year, I think that made a lot of people want to come play for us. And it has helped our team perform a whole lot better, I feel like.
100%. I mean, we're stacked on pitchers.
Yeah, as long as we have good pitching on the mound, we can win any game.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we've had pitchers come in and they just blow the game for us. But as long as our pitching has been really, really good this year. I mean, we've had some high scoring games, but I mean, that's hard to do. I mean, it's normal to have when you have a 3-game series. And you come in on the last couple of days, and you're like, well, these pitchers got to rest. Our best pitchers have to rest. Then we got to throw in some other people to pitch around. So, I mean, we're not stacked like in the MLB team where you got main guys.
I mean, who is?
Apparently, the Braves are not ready to play ball
The
this
Braves, I call it now. I'm willing to put a mortgage down on it. The Braves will be 0-7 by the time they touch Atlanta. I don't see them winning a freaking ball game. Austin Riley is dry. Michael Harris is dry.
We had one hit yesterday. One hit.
Now let's talk about somebody that does have hits that I cannot stand. I cannot stand this team more than anybody in
the Yankees.
I cannot stand the Yankees. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a Red Sox ride or die.
Let me guess. You want them banned for these bats?
No, I don't actually. I don't. And I've been saying it for a long time. It's been since Mark McGwire and steroids that we needed a breakout at the plate controversy for baseball to grow in popularity. It just pisses me off. I'm leaving that in. It pisses me off that the Yankees have to be that team, because this is what I mean. They've had the name for a long time, the Bronx Bombers, but now you give them a bat literally called the Torpedo. That is going to make and I'm not even mad about the situation. I'm perfectly fine with Jazz Chisholm giving up 23 freaking home runs this year and Aaron Judge breaking his 2017 career average and Cody Bellinger looking zooted in a Yankees uniform. I'm fine with that. The memes are amazing. The game is amazing. I get it. I want to see the hype around the game. That's what I'm a baseball fan for. But what pisses me off is I was so excited for the Red Sox this year, and we have not done anything. And then as the home field with the Braves, because I still root for the Braves. I live in the state of Georgia. I still root for the Braves. Papa rooted for the Braves. Those are my two teams. But for Chris Sale to go into the Braves and not do anything as a pitcher is making me like borderline upset, because it's like the Yankees are doing great. Soto just went to a different New York team. And baseball, this is not what I thought baseball was going to look like in the opening week. I did not expect any of this. The Yankees are playing great baseball. They don't have any fielding depth. The fielding sucks. I mean, I saw 2 or 3 pass balls in the infield that I've never seen before that should have been caught. And the fielding sucks. But you know what? To be honest with you, your fielding could be absolute dog garbage. But as long as you hit 32 home runs.
Exactly. Because I've seen, I got on like yesterday or something on like Instagram or TikTok after I got done fishing yesterday, and I saw everybody talking about it. I was like, what exactly is going on? Because I haven't been watching it. I've been busy working and everything. And so I looked it up and I was like, why has nobody else thought about creating bats like this? I mean, there's nothing in the rule book that says that they can't be shaped the way they have them shaped. No. But I feel like the MLB, being the MLB, they're going to find a way to ban these.
And the reason why they won't, and the only reason why I say that is it's not a composite bat, it's not a corked bat, it's just a different design of a bat. The only issue I have with it is uniform. And when I say uniform is, if the MLB allows it for the Yankees, they should allow it for every other team.
Yeah, but then every other team's got to figure out how in the world to make these bats.
I mean, it's one bat manufacturer. I'm pretty sure you get on the phone with enough money in your pocket, you can make enough phone calls to get the same bat. I don't see them selling the patent to people like Louisville Slugger or anything like that. But I think that it's the new wave of baseball bats. I think if they open up the...
Well, I saw where the guy who created them, the Yankees figured out where exactly was Jazz Chisholm's or whoever players they have. They figured out where their sweet spot is and where they're hitting their most home runs, and they reinforced that part of the bat and created it the way they did just so he's always finding his sweet spot.
Exactly. I mean, they don't violate anything. The sweet spot has to be between... I looked it up. The diameter and length has to be between 2.61 inches and 42 inches long. I mean, as long as that bat fits in that, you're good. As long as you don't go outside of that diameter can fit on any part of the sweet spot, as long as it doesn't go out of that diameter. Now, if you start corking bats, and you've got the wiffle ball bat that we had as a kid that's freaking this big around in the end, and it's got the tiny knob, that's when we have a problem.
Yeah.
But if you look at Aaron Judge's college bat, it's almost the most identical thing to the torpedo bat. It's just a sweet spot bat that's built for him. The Yankees are just the first team to change the barrel of the bat. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I had to get over my emotions about it because it happens to be the Yankees. But if you look at it, it's a smart idea to adapt to the game.
Yeah.
But my point is, if you allow the torpedo bats for the Yankees, other bats should be allowed for other teams. Like Victus pencil bats should be allowed. Personalized cleats should be allowed. Facial hair on the freaking Yankees finally changed. That should be allowed. Chains should be allowed. Celebrate. If you're going to hit home runs, you should be able to celebrate your home run the way you want to celebrate the home run. The whole no flipping the bat rule, or the bat fines, or the dugout fines, do away with that. People watch baseball for two reasons: to watch their team win and to watch the action. And I'm not talking about the action in the infield when Jeter throws a cross-body throw. No, I'm talking about Jose Bautista getting knocked the hell out at third base or second base. That's the action people watch baseball for. And you can say it as much as you want to say it, but you and I grew up in the same time where Carlos Gomez pimped every home run against the Braves and Brian McCann knocked him out at home plate. That's why we watch baseball. If you allow torpedo bats to bring people in and you allow home runs to be hit that way, you should allow players to be creative.
Yeah.
And I think the next wave, we need to get rid of Rob Manfred. Manfred is killing the sport. He's a bum. I mean, he really is. We need to get rid of him and make Ken Griffey Jr. the GM of baseball, the GM of Major Leagues. Get rid of the old logo. The logo where the guy's hitting the baseball.
Yeah.
Turn his hat around, make Griffey the logo. I think he's our new logo man. We need a new renovated version of baseball, and this needs to be the new baseball. Now, I'm not saying make it the Savannah Bananas and make pitchers do backflips every time they strike somebody out, but give the fans what they want. And I think we're in a great motion forward, especially from the lockout 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we're in a great motion forward to make baseball what it needs to be, and I think the Yankees are on the right track, and I think they can be the spark to make baseball what it needs to be. But going forward, let players be players. Let them use their Victus pencil bats. Let them use their Trevor Bauer sword finish.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying bring back sticky stuff and needles.
No.
But if it comes natural, let it be.
Yeah, let fun back in the league.
Exactly. And do you remember 2017? I'm going to throw a picture of this in here, like in the episode so people can see it. 2017 was one of the weirdest years for baseball. And right before the All-Star game, or right after the All-Star game, right near like Little League World Series when baseball is like the dog days of summer, but everybody wants to watch baseball for some reason. college baseball's ramping up for the playoffs. They had Players Weekend, customizable players jerseys that were neon, and on the back, instead of the last name of the player, it had their nickname. So for Aaron Judge, he had it said All Rise. Cody Bellinger said Cody Love. Altuve said Tuve. Like, they're just neon jerseys.
Yeah.
To me, if I'm a fan walking into Atlanta Braves Stadium and they're playing the Red Sox, and I see a Jarren Duran jersey that says tennis racket on the back and it's neon red, I'm buying the jersey.
Yeah.
I'm coming to the game. I'm watching the game. I'm posting it on social media. That's what baseball needs.
Yeah.
We don't need, the Yankees hit 23 home runs. We're going to outlaw the bat. Let them hit.
Yeah.
Let them play. But I don't know. I'm excited for baseball. I'm excited to see what's coming up. We have 2 jerseys that just came out. So the first one that was released was the Astros New City Connect. So they had their Space City Dark City Connect. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what they call it. I'll put a picture in here. I love the hat. The hat looks elite to me. The jersey, I don't like it. I'm just not a fan. But I'll show you the jersey. So there's the jersey.
It looks like a Rip It can. That's what I'm getting off of that. A Rip It or a Rockstar drink, energy drink.
I got like 12U travel ball.
Yeah, I got Did You Even Try?
Yeah. And then their A just looks like an all-star hat.
See, I see that, and I think Arizona.
That's valid because it's got the slanted.
Yeah, I see Arizona.
And then the second one that came out was the Washington jersey, which I think is better than the first one. And I'll put them side by side on the screen so you can see. I like this jersey. I like the feel of it. I like the they like broke it down for what everything means, like they did with the first one.
I think this is the one I wasn't really. Yeah.
I like it. The first Washington jersey, I didn't like how it says whoosh on the front. I understand that's the abbreviation for Washington, but for me, you could put anything else on the front of the jersey. I like the DC. I think it's clean. I think the outline of the city in the background is clean. I think the singular 2 flowers by the W on the helmet and on the hat are clean. It reminds me a lot of like a.
Well, see, the picture you sent was bad, but show me.
This is the breakdown of the jersey. Next to the same guy that you don't like. But it's got the...
He just looks goofy. It looks like he's AI.
It's got like the breakdown of what everything means.
I mean, it's I
think it's a good jersey. I think it means something. It makes sense. It looks good.
It still looks like travel ball.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to look like professional. I think the Braves need something other than the flashback.
Yeah, I wish the Braves would come up with a little bit more interesting thing to have.
And then
it would be kind of cool if, like, MLB, like, every Major League Baseball team, like, whatever sports are in, like their state.
Crossover?
Yeah, like crossover jerseys or something. Like a Atlanta United jersey or something like that. That'd
like
be
a Falcons, but with a baseball bat?
Yeah, something like that. Something a little bit
tied in.
Yeah, just tie it in some way, shape, form. I feel like if we just start doing that, it'd be like people would want those jerseys. Those would thrive. You would have more sales in jerseys.
100%.
If you have like Atlanta United jersey or a Atlanta Falcons or Atlanta Hawks jerseys, something like that, to tie in more people, I feel like the sales would go crazy. People would watch the games to see what jerseys they're bringing out this game, blah, blah, blah. It'd make it more interesting.
I think if you did it the way that the NBA does it.
Yeah.
I think another way that you could make people want to buy the jersey is if I'm at a Braves game and they're wearing the Falcons jersey but a button up, the short sleeve, and Kirk Cousins comes out to throw out now he probably won't be here this year, but
Michael Penix comes out to throw the first
Michael Penix comes out here and
throws
the first pitch or something like that. That would tie in the City Connect.
It'd be that's what I'm saying. The City Connects me to be a little bit more You
City,
have your
yeah.
city with all your other teams in the city. Combine them. Let's do something fun for the fans, for the league.
I think if you want to hear my Braves, what the Braves need to do, I would like to see a peach-colored jersey with a green collar, so it kind of looks like a peach because we're the peach state. And then where the Braves, the Atlanta comes across, have it in the Atlanta United, in the Atlanta font, the one that you see on the sign when you come in.
Yeah.
And I think a peach-colored uniform ties in the state, ties in the city, and then around the edge, like where the stitching is, where like Dodgers are normally blue, I think you put either the Georgia state flag, or you tie something in with red and black with like the University of Georgia or any of the Georgia teams, like the Hawks or anything like that, or even like feathers or something.
Yeah.
To pay homage to the birds.
I mean, you call them City Connects, but we need to actually connect the city.
Exactly.
Like with the other team. That would be so cool to have. 100%.
I think the Yankees are missing out a great opportunity. I think if they had a solid black jersey with the, you know how Yankee Stadium's got like the, it looks like a bridge at the top of the stadium. Mm-hmm. I think if they did that around the shoulders of the jersey with pinstripes coming down from them, and then on the back of the jersey they had something to do with like the cream color that the Yankees used to wear or something, I think they're missing a perfect opportunity to put the word Bronx across the front of their jersey and have a Bronx jersey. I think the
they're
A's
missing out a lot.
Once the A's get at home in Las Vegas, I think they need to come out with one that the numbers look like playing cards and they have poker chips or something on them to like tie in Las Vegas. I think every other aspect of baseball right now in my life, as far as fantasy, college, ABAC, and the MLB, this is the best season I've seen so far. I just hope the Yankees and the Dodgers aren't in the World Series again, because that's going to be my 13th reason. I think we had a pretty good episode today. I think we were able to highlight a lot that's going on. I think this is the best time to be alive. The Masters are coming up. Baseball's getting ramped up. College baseball's getting ramped up.
Softball's getting ramped up.
Yeah. Our conference will be done in the end of April. Tournament will start in May. There's a lot to talk about, a lot coming up that we can talk about. But I think we're just kind of beating around the bush saying the same things over and over. So we're going to call it here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yeah, just thank you for the support. Thank you for allowing me and Noah to do this every Monday and put it out every week. We enjoy this. This is something we want to do, not something that we have to do. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I think I'm going to call it here.
All right.
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in to Rowdy Sports Network on WPLH 88.3 ABAC Radio and on Spotify. Follow. Send it to your mom. Send it to your grandma. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys next week.
See ya.